So as people are joining our Goodwill virtual sustainability show, my name is Doug Roxburgh with Goodwill Industries of Alberta. You may remember me from such Zoom platforms as the first ever Goodwill virtual fashion show. Welcome everybody as everyone starts to come in. This is going to be something absolutely fantastic. We have some amazing panelists from right across Alberta, and they're going to showcase some of their fantastic creations that otherwise would have went to landfills. Instead, they're becoming part of our everyday living. And this is something to see. This is something you actually can't miss. The Goodwill Group, just so you're aware, they've kept me around for the last almost year and a half to 2 years. So I'll be your guide this evening, and we're going to take a tour, and you're going to have to put up with me. So I apologize in advance, but I think it's going to be a fun little tour. This show couldn't be possible without our generous donors right across the province, our shoppers, our volunteers, everyone who supports Goodwill. You know, together we are making a difference in the lives of Albertans with disabilities. We're helping them find and gain meaningful employment. And I don't mean employment just within our organization. Our organization, yes, we do have about 30% of our staff members, which makes us one of the larger employers of people with disabilities in the province. But I'm talking about partner organizations and private enterprises that seek out people to help them get purpose, help them create dignity and joy through the power of work. So we find the right job for the right person. Here's a lowdown of how our virtual sustainability show will go. This is going to be something absolutely amazing. We've partnered with 6 local experts from right across the province to showcase our upcycled, recycled, and community cycled items. One by one, our experts will introduce, and they'll have a couple of minutes to talk about the ensemble, the piece, whatever they've put together. They have a couple of minutes to showcase that. And like I said, these items that they've put together, wow, 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 wow. Our viewers, I think, have the ability to control their own viewing experience. So you can view gallery view or you can view single view. I'm not exactly sure what power you have, so exercise the power as you will. There is a chat box. If you have any Q&As, feel free to ask the questions as we go along, and then we'll ask our panelists. That's the best way to get involved. Be as interactive as you possibly can. That's the best part about this show. Some of these items are where sustainability comes to life. And some of these items come from our amazing Goodwill Edmonton Impact Center. This is where people get a last chance to shop. And these items will go to recycling, or we'll find a responsible recycling partner. But you can actually buy these items by the pound, and it gives these items a second chance at a new life. The items that don't get sold, we find a way to avoid it going to landfill. We actually have a 90+ diversion rate from local landfills here in Edmonton and Grand Prairie. We're creeping towards that in Calgary, which will be absolutely astounding here in the next year. And there's some pretty cool upcycling initiatives that you're going to hear about later on in the show about what happens to these items here at Goodwill. So we can't wait to see what our guests have been able to put together. Let's introduce them. We have Corey from Rewaste. Corey, can you say hi?
Hi, Doug. Thanks for the intro.
We have Laura from Reverie Crafts and Creations.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Jonathan from Full Circle Plastics.
Hello.
Lee from Urban Squirrel Creations.
Hi, how's it going?
Nicole from Boomerang Bags, #YEG.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for including us today.
Johnson from Goodwill Commercial Services.
Hello, Doug. How are you?
And with us, we also have, because I can't answer all the sustainability questions you have, our Director of Sustainability here at Goodwill, Mortimer Caprilis.
Hello, everyone.
So if you have any sustainability questions, I'm just going to pass them along to Mortimer, I promise you. For everyone who is tuning in live, at the end of the show, we do actually have a giveaway for you. We're giving away $25 to Boston Pizza. There will be trivia questions, so get ready for that as we have to reward everyone who's tuning in live because, I mean, that's part of the interactive experience, is it not? So stay tuned. Buckle up, strap yourselves in because we are on a roller coaster to sustainability. Goodwill Industries of Alberta is dedicated to making a difference in the lives of Albertans and the communities we serve. The organization is unwavering in the commitment to bring dignity and joy through the power of work, doing so through meaningful, economical, and environmentally responsible ways.
Hi, I'm Dale Monaghan, President and CEO of Goodwill Industries of Alberta. I've been a proud Goodwillian and team member of Goodwill since 2012. Here in Alberta, since 1963, Goodwill has helped people with disabilities through the power of work and the dignity of a job. In 1975, Goodwill Industries of Alberta joined the family of Goodwills around the world and was officially registered as a not-for-profit social enterprise in Alberta. There are not-for-profit organizations and there are for-profit organizations, but we would like to refer to Goodwill as a for-impact organization.
I'm Mortimer Capriles, Director of Sustainability and Innovation. I'm in charge of the amazing Goodwill Impact Center and Sustainability. Every new sustainability program taking place in Goodwill is part of the Sustainability Action Plan strategy. Some of the new sustainability programs included in the Sustainability Action Plan are the recycling of plastics, glass and ceramics, voltage adapters, roller blades, broken pallets, suitcases, cigarette waste, repair of broken furniture, and the Alberta Reads Partnership. In the capital region, Goodwill has over a 90% diversion from the landfill rate, and the organization as a whole diverts millions of kilograms every year thanks to the Sustainability Action Plan.
Thanks to our shoppers, donors, volunteers, team members, and business partners for which this would not be possible without. We are a people business, and together we want to celebrate each individual who steps through our doors, as they are strengthening our community, for which we are grateful. We are all in it together to create a better tomorrow, and our tremendous success showcases how those who donate, shop, and support Goodwill are in fact making such a profound difference, day in and day out.
First up on the docket, reusable snack bags made from an old singular use strawberry bag or a plastic coaster made from an old diaper genie. Well, these are just a few of the many recycled repurposed goods from Edmonton's own Rewaste. Started by environmental entrepreneur Corey, Rewaste is committed to diverting plastics and other reusable waste from landfills, oceans, and incinerators by repurposing the plastic waste into practical pieces like coasters, bags, and everything in between. This is Corey. Welcome to the show. We really appreciate you having us here. I know you have some cool and exciting projects going on. Just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Doug. And so I'm Corey, founder and CEO of Rewaste. And what we're currently doing is working on a process that works with cities, businesses, and the average person to divert their plastic waste from landfills and transform the plastic waste into awesome plastic products made from 100% recycled plastic. So like you saw in the video, yeah, there's some great products that we've made to date, such as, you know, that the bag that you saw there, the Miss Vicky's. Well, it's kind of amazing, right? Like, there's companies that spend a lot of money on marketing and branding, and this bag was destined for landfill. And I just thought, you know, this, could we do something with it? And, you know, even making a liner with a shirt that was going to go to the landfill. So yeah, I thought, you know, I'd ask my mom for the sewing machine and see if we can show that proof of concept, and it worked. And we expanded and did a few more little products here, just like a compliment strawberry bag. Again, just, it was going to go in the garbage, and put a zipper on it. And I'm not the best sewer, I'll admit it, but again, it's just proof of concept.
I gotta ask, how did you come up with just figuring out, hey, Miss Vicky's could be a perfectly good portable bag?
Yeah, so just doing some research online, I saw some different companies or people that would melt bags and turn them into other things. And so then I thought, well, can I melt a Miss Vicky's bag? And I took out the griddle that you make pancakes on, and I took the iron that you iron clothes with, and I sandwiched it together, and yeah, just ironed them together, and it started melting and adhering, and it actually got a little bit stronger too. So then it just kept evolving from there. And you know, I took other plastic bags and just proof of concept. So this is from 19 co-op bags and a couple other white bags, but grocery bags, single use, destined for landfill. Well, can we do something with this? And you know, it's super dense. It can be used for a coaster. It can be used for wall tile. And as you know, this afternoon I was actually at Goodwill Impact Center, and myself and Mortimer decided to try a pilot project which repurposed these plastic tiles. So just hexagon tiles, and originally, you know, the concept was maybe a coaster, but then as we started making them, we thought that, well, it can be used as backsplash or wall tile, floor tile, and then, hey, you know, instead of buying virgin FRP panels, maybe we can do something with these tiles, like a wall protection. So yeah, I was there this afternoon, and yeah, we had some fun installing the hexagon tiles.
That's so cool. You've just essentially taken those items that were definitely destined for the landfill, and you turned them into something that we can use every day. We do have a question from our gallery. They ask, how do you scale up the volume for things like a zipper bag, possibly?
Yeah, actually, it's funny that there's an opportunity to utilize different personnel. So there's retirees, there's like the Goodwill Impact Center, hiring people with disabilities. There's an opportunity to get people more involved, and put a sewing machine in front of them, and start producing more of these bags. It's not that simple, but if you know the basics of sewing, I mean, it's just get a sewing machine and some thread, and you're on your way. So.
And we're going to be on the sustainability question for all of our panelists throughout the entire show. But what inspired you to kind of start Rewaste and get you on this train?
Yeah, so I think it's about the next generation. So I have 3 young kids, and you know, it's providing a better environment for them to grow up in. So when I started this journey, I was collecting plastic when we'd go for walks, and our daughter would be in the backyard telling just random people that her dad collects plastic for a living. So it's just providing a better environment, better life for the kids growing up. That's my motivation.
And it's very inspiring. Do you have any other, before we let you go, do you have any other inspiring projects that you have on the horizon that maybe you can have other people kind of get initiated on?
Yeah, so there's a couple pilot projects. I'm working with Beaumont on collecting residents' plastic waste and diverting it from landfills. And then the Goodwill pilot project. But there's so many opportunities with plastic, and you know, like for example, here's a plastic comb that we did. There's a lot that can be done in terms of helping out, in terms of what needs to happen when you collect the plastic. So there's the sorting of all types and colors. There's help with even just the collecting of it, cleaning the plastic. So I do have a website that I'll be launching shortly, but anybody that's interested, they can go on the website or follow the Instagram page and put their email in there, and I'll connect them with something that they can do.
So we can find you on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
Rewaste.ca.
So find him on Instagram. Actually, if you follow his page on Instagram, the pictures of the items that he's put together, I've probably said it enough, and I'm probably going to say it more tonight, but wow. So Corey, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll move on from macrame keychains and wall hangings to upcycled furniture masterpieces to homemade masks. Laura from Reverie Crafts and Creations is also a very familiar face to the Goodwill family. Laura works at one of our Calgary Goodwill stores and recently started her own small business, now called Reverie Crafts and Creations, and it was just started a few weeks ago.
Thanks so much for having me. As you said, I am a Goodwill employee. I worked as a cashier for the past 3.5 years, and my time with Goodwill has really helped me explore my creative side. Most of my upcycling work has involved furniture and decor pieces. For example, I repainted this mirror during quarantine, so I did some different hand-painted designs on it to make it stand out a little bit, to upgrade my decor. I've had lots of fun transforming some older pieces into something new and exciting. I just start by grabbing a screwdriver and taking the piece apart so I can see the bare bones and what I have to work with. And by painting those pieces and then putting it back together, I can see which pieces work and what doesn't work. I also change the hardware. So taking off basic or dated pieces like this knob here and this pull, and we can upgrade them to something nice and fun like this antique glass knob or a ceramic knob. It's really fun to get creative in that sense.
That's so cool. So how did you come up with this idea of, finding ways to put different things together like that?
I grew up thrifting. My mom is a thrifter, and she definitely taught me her ways at a very young age. And when I started working at Goodwill, I started in processing. And when I was going through all of the clothes, I was overwhelmed by how much Goodwill actually gets. And it blew my mind how stores are still selling brand new clothes when there's so much out there. And so I'm really interested in sharing resources and taking things and using them as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's really neat. Now, you do a lot of macrame as well, right?
Yeah, so
Hold on 1 second. What is macrame?
It's actually just a bunch of knots. And I taught myself macrame just recently during the COVID lockdown. And it turns out I already knew how to do the basic knot that starts off every project. And then also I can find old keychains. And by removing the original piece, I just turn it into something new. And I can find the keychains at Goodwill.
But it's not just knots, it's actually finding the right design for those knots. So how do you come up with that?
I just kind of go for it. I have looked at some other pieces for inspiration, and other times I just play around with it, see what works. I have to tie them and untie them many times, but trial and error gets me somewhere.
And you know what? You're actually keeping a lot of items out of the landfill. It's very sustainable. You grew up thrifting. Can you just tell me maybe a little bit about some of the other types of projects or crafts that you have going on?
Yeah, so I've been working on some masks, some non-medical face masks. I'll also go through Goodwill fabric baskets, and my grandma's a quilter and she gave me a bunch of her fabrics, and I just sew these cute little kid-sized masks. And then just more of the furniture. I'm working on this vanity here. This is the upper mirror part. And so it went from just the typical brown oak look to these hand-painted flowers. It's definitely an Alice in Wonderland Disney type of design, but I think it'll be really cool when it's all finished.
I love the colors. They're actually, it's so vintage, but so modern at the same time.
What I'm going for.
So what does sustainability mean to you? I guess I have to ask it.
Yeah, it's helping the planet. It's getting resources out there to those who are in need. I also work and volunteer with vulnerable populations, and there's a lot of things that we take for granted that we can share with others. So yeah, just giving a helping hand to everyone out there and our planet.
Is there anything else that you would like to add? Because I love some of the projects that you've done. Like, I would love to go into like complete detail on, hey, how do you do more macrame? How do you do more upcycling of furniture?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get into exploring upholstery now with furniture. So we'll have to see what I can come up with there and see what else comes up.
That sounds great. Honestly, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. How do we get a hold of you? Do you have a Facebook, Instagram, you name it? Website? Come on, spit it out for me.
I just have an Instagram and a Facebook right now, and you can find me at Reverie Crafts and Creations on both sites.
That's great. So someone just asked, how do we get any links or websites for any of our panelists? We will be providing these on our social channels at the end of the show and also tomorrow as well. So everyone just stay tuned for some of our panelists' Instagram handles or Facebook pages, websites, you name it. We'll be providing some of that because our panelists are, like Laura, are so terrific. Laura, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was very exciting to come on and join you guys tonight.
Located near Lethbridge, Alberta, Full Circle Plastics creates long-lasting, durable products using recycled plastic materials and extrusion. Full Circle Plastics loves the creativity of taking items that are often seen as waste and recycling, and they recycle them into products that can last a lifetime. Some of their products include fence boards, plastic lumber, parking curbs, and, believe it or not, something that we've done at Goodwill is park benches. Jonathan from Full Circle Plastics, welcome to the show. We really appreciate you being here tonight.
Hello, Doug. Thanks for the introduction.
Jonathan is a man of a few words, so I'll try to fill in as much as possible. Just kidding with you, Jonathan. But you know what? Those are little tiny pieces of plastics. And you saw the barriers, you saw the fencing, you saw the benches. Those look they are legitimate. There's no question about that, but they look immaculate. Tell me about what you do there, Jonathan.
So we started Full Circle Plastics. Would have been 2016, and Full Circle Plastics was started out of the desire to create value out of waste. We didn't initially have a strong environmental we didn't come in wanting to save the planet necessarily or be the end-all solution for plastics, but we wanted to figure out how to create value out of waste. And plastics was just one opportunity. That there was a lot of opportunity in the plastics field, and so we came with it saying, if we take single-use plastics, how can we make the biggest impact? We can reuse them once, we can reuse them twice, but hey, if we can make them last a lifetime, that's where we want to go. And so we take plastics, and so we actually work with Mortimer at the Impact Center, and plastics that came out of the Impact Center, stuff they can't find a new home for, they're actually granulating at the Impact Center in Edmonton, and they're shipping them down to us. And so we'll take those plastics and we blend them with other plastics that we get throughout the province of Alberta, and we build products. And we build everything from fence posts, fence boards, 2x4, 2x6, landscape timbers. And then we're also building products. So park benches like you would have seen at the Impact Center, parking curbs, and garden boxes. This year, that was our newest product, as well as planters, and yeah, anything you want to make, you can build with it. And so I'm not sure how long we've been working with Goodwill Alberta, but working with Goodwill was a perfect fit. 3 years? Yeah. So initially we took bales of plastic. One of our partners who works with both Goodwill and ourselves, DBS Environmental, they ground them up. And then it worked to now Goodwill is actually granulating their own plastics and shipping them down to us. And so, but yeah, Goodwill Alberta was a perfect fit for our company. They're an organization that they're not happy doing just a little. They want to extract the maximum amount of value out of waste, out of things seen as waste. And so, yeah, it's been a great journey, and yeah, we've enjoyed working with Goodwill as well as a lot of other organizations throughout Alberta.
Yeah, and you know what? Those plastics, like when I say they're immaculate, like they last, you said it, they last a lifetime, but they also look great. Like that is just something, you know, say I build a fence out of pressure treated wood, I know I'm getting maybe 15 years out of it, maybe 20 years, where this, you know, it could be longer and still look almost brand new.
And that's our goal. And even speaking about a fence, our fence board, 3/4 inch by 5.5 inch fence board. It's this one right here. It weighs 5 kilo at 6 feet long. 1 foot of fence, only counting the fence posts, keep 10 kilo of plastics out of the landfill. And so every little bit that anyone does makes an impact. Sorry, I muted myself there.
That's all right.
But yeah, every little bit of plastic that is used, given it a second life, makes an impact, and that's what we want to be part of.
Yeah, and you said it yourself, like there is no one solution. And you know, that's just a piece of the puzzle, right? I mean, the puzzle is ginormous when it comes to trying to figure out, you know, how not to be wasteful at the end of the day. This is just another piece of the puzzle, I think.
Yeah, and I think if we look at the problem as a whole, it looks too big to solve. But if we break that problem down and everyone does a little bit, everyone does their part finding solutions. What's Corey's doing here? What Mortimer's doing? What we're all doing here? Do you know what? We're going to make this world a better place.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You know, those plastic benches you talked about, we actually have them at the Impact Center. They're used for some of our patrons to sit down and enjoy themselves. They're used for our team members. They look the part, they feel the part. They are absolutely phenomenal. We couldn't be happier with the partnership that we have with Full Circle Plastics out of Lethbridge. in order to get that kind of ball rolling. But it's plastics literally that people have donated. We've ground them up, sent them to you, and you've turned them into something that is definitely usable, not only at our facility, but in and around our community.
And for us, we take the plastics ground up. We rely on people to collect them, people to do their job recycling. We rely on the recycling programs. We rely on, there's so many pieces of the puzzle for us to be able to do what we do and be successful at it. And that's just, that's what makes it, it makes it sustainable, just being able to create economy doing good, right?
Definitely. We do have a question for you before I let you go. Is your chair made from recycled plastics?
This chair is actually one, I didn't make it myself. A friend of mine built it, and actually one of our suppliers, and 100% recycled plastics, and yes.
Is it better or worse than one of my favorite Muskoka chairs?
This one's a rocker, so we may be competing there. I'm hoping it lasts longer, let's put it that way.
I love it. Jonathan, how do we get a hold of you if we can?
Full Circle Plastics, Facebook, Instagram, as well as our webpage. So search us out and yeah, contact us.
That's great. Thank you for joining us tonight. Honestly, it's a pleasure. We love your product, especially those benches that we have at our Edmonton Impact Center. So we couldn't be happier that you joined us and kind of showcase how we can turn plastic into something that we can use every day. So really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Lee from Urban Squirrel Creations in Calgary describes herself as a city-dwelling artist living in a repurposed universe who breathes new life into various paper mediums and prevents them from ending up in our landfills. She chooses mediums like books that are bound for the trash, ranging from atlases, comic books, sheet music, and even damaged Bibles. All pieces are created to be unique, creative, elegant, and thought-provoking, things that buyers would be proud to give as a gift.
It's nice to be here, Doug.
Thank you so much. I know you're a first-time Zoomer, so this will be interesting, right?
Yes, it will.
Hey, that's all right.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. No, I'll get you started. Just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I ran away from a retail career in 2015 and wanted something to do for myself, so I started Urban Squirrel Creations. The squirrel part, I was a retail merchandiser, and as anybody who's watched anybody work retail, we're all over the place. So I'm a squirrel, got 15 projects on the go at any given time, and I'm all over the place. So I'm an urban squirrel. I have my squirrel moments, lots of them. So I had started working with different crafting materials, and through a flood that we had in our place, I ended up with a box of books that were water damaged, that they weren't readable, and they were going to head to the trash. And I went, I don't want to see that happen. I want to come up with something to do with them. So I had crawled around YouTube looking at different things because I've always loved working with paper. And I found videos that were from India and the Middle East where people were doing quilling, it's paper filigree. And I started exploring it, and I started making beads from the paper. And doing the first things that I did was I did bracelets. And there are all of the mediums that I chose to do. The first ones that I actually worked with were with the text. And it's really cool when I start putting the beads together, because when you're working with text paper or the strips that I cut out of the pages of the novels, I can actually choose what words or letters or anything else that wind up in the bead just by where I cut the paper to turn the paper into a bead. So I use, like I said, I use novels. The second one that I started doing with, I had an old atlas that was actually mine from when I was in school, and it had been kicked around, the binding was broken, and I started playing around with that. And so that's where I evolved to my map beads, and going to places like Goodwill. I love going into Goodwill. And when you look around the book section, there's always well-loved books where kids have written on pages and things like that. And that's what I do, is I take these pieces and I actually turn them into something that people would want to buy as gifts. Like I said, I started with the jewelry. So I do bracelets. I also do earrings of the different styles. I also do matching necklaces as well. So with the different types that I do. As mentioned, I also do beads in comic book style. No collector's grade comic books are ever destroyed in the making of my beads. I always take things that are ripped, torn, covers are damaged. And the byproduct when I was doing the jewelry is I also do artwork. So pieces like this, let's see if I can get close enough to the screen so you can see the filigree in it. That's one of the larger pieces that I do. I've also done winter style. Oops, no glare. I also do some designs like tattoo. That's a tattoo swallow that I've done. And one of the most popular things that I do, or anything that involves an animal paw print, people really like that. So as you can see, don't do that. There we go. It's the paper turning, and
that's so cool.
Yeah.
How do you make the beads and wind them so tight?
There's a specific tool that I use. It's a stick that's got a slot in it. It's referred to as a quilling tool. When I first got started, the one tool that I used was plastic. It broke. So the one that I have now is, because of the amount of quilling that I do, the one I have now is made out of cast aluminum, so it stands up pretty good. But yeah, so that's how I started, and I started by going to different markets selling my products. And of course, I got the opportunity. Right now, all of my jewelry and my artwork can be found in Main Street Market in Okotoks, which is a vendor. It's a shop that's full of vendors that are all creative, and right at the moment, because of COVID, that is the only place that my jewelry and my artwork are being sold.
Yeah, COVID has changed a lot of things. I mean, like I said, we're on Zoom for the first time with you, right? So there's no question it's changed a lot of things. You talked about how you came up with this idea, and you almost got a lot of comic book fans angry at you.
Yes.
Just like half a second until you kind of brought it back and said, no, they're already damaged. But
yes.
Like, how do you come up with the types of books that you want to use for a specific piece of work that you're putting together?
Well, like I said, I picked a lot of them up from Goodwill, some from my own house, and like I said, it's it has to be a specific grade of paper that I use, so that I have the ability to turn it. Although it can be stretched, because I have acquired a folder of sheet music, which has the copyright dates of 1941, 1935, and 1932. And those are a challenge to turn because of their age. The fibers are starting to break down. So when I turn them into the beads, they tend to break on me, so they get stacked as I turn them. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is when people look at it, is the first thing is, oh my God, you mean that's paper? Yeah. The second one is if I get it wet, what's going to happen? Well, because as I'm turning it, I use a glue mix as I'm turning it. The entire front of the bead and the side gets coated in glue, so it has a limited waterproof. You could be wearing it and go out in the rain and be okay, but I wouldn't advise washing dishes with your hands in the water if you're wearing a bracelet.
Well, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Lee, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Just thank you very much for letting me be a part of this.
Yeah, it's great. And honestly, the creations that you do are absolutely fantastic. You said you're in the market. Is there any way we can get a hold of you online or anything like that?
I am on, I'm on Instagram. I'm urban_squirrel_creations on Instagram. I am Urban Squirrel Creations on Facebook, and I am urbansquirrelcreations.webs.com for my website page. And if you go to the Instagram page, I have something called a link tree in my bio, and it's got all the links to all my other social media. I do have, I don't know if you can see the little angel that's sitting up here. I'm actually in the middle of making a whole bunch of Christmas ornaments in roughly like a Victorian style, which will be going into the store mid-November.
That's absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to see those.
Thank you.
Lee, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thanks.
Locally based in Edmonton, Boomerang Bags, #YEG, has been formed to get folks together to make reusable shopping and produce bags in a fun and social setting. These bags are made from locally donated material. Every fabric boom bags that YEG can keep, let me rephrase that. Every fabric boom bags YEGs that can keep approximately 700 plastic bags out of our landfill. So for every one, it's 700 bags are removed from landfill. The bags are given away free to our friends, families, and folks that they don't even know as a plastic bag alternative that can be used and reused or passed on to others. The only requisite to receiving one of the free shopping bags is that the receiver pledges to use it. The most important part of that. If they cannot, well, they promise to pass it along to someone else.
Thanks so much for having us.
No, thank you so much for joining us. So tell us a little bit about Boom Bags YEG.
Okay, I love Boom Bags. It's this really great initiative that started actually in Australia back in 2013. So just a couple of friends were wanting to do something about the plastic waste in the world, also textile waste. So Boom Bags kind of marries both of those problems into one solution. So since they started in 2013, there's like 1,100 communities across the globe that have a Boom Bags chapter, including Edmonton, which started in June of 2018. So it was actually started by the lovely Sue, who I'm a surrogate for this evening. Otherwise, she would be presenting. And I met Sue through a few Fashion Revolution events, which I believe Goodwill also gets involved with. And yeah, just loved what she does. And so I've participated in some socials. So I'll actually show you one of the bags here. So this came from the bins at the Impact Center. And yeah, basically what we do is we just get a bunch of people together for these things called socials, where we make bags for the people. So they can be shopping bags, they can be produce bags. If there's scraps that are too small to be bags, you can make a napkin. There's just lots that you can do with textile that would otherwise go to a landfill.
So let's just say there's not one size fits all for Boom Bags YEG.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
How many different styles of bags can you guys make?
Tons. It really just kind of depends on the textiles that we have. This one, for example, was someone's skirt at one point, and now it is a lovely bag. This one here is one of my favorites. It's really cool. So these used to be choir gowns, and these came from the Impact Center. So they were sewn into bags. And then this is super cool. These are just City of Edmonton lanyards, which you don't even have to sew a strap. It's already there. You just have to attach it. This was a sheet. And this can be used as a produce bag. We've got some old t-shirt bits that once your produce is in, you can use it to tie it up. So yeah, we've done denim bags. This one here, I actually sewed earlier this year. These used to be an old pair of jeans, and now it's this cute little wine bottle. And then the awesome part is there is a local company in Edmonton called Unbelt. I actually used to work for them, but they generate scrap from offcuts of material that can't be belts. And so we partnered with them and used their offcuts to make the straps.
So I guess depending on the size of the bag, it depends on the material that you get. But do you guys figure out, which material is best?
It really just depends. Like there's so many different options. Like even this one here, so this is a curtain. You can kind of see just from the way it drapes that it's a little bit flimsier, but it's perfect for holding produce. So basically the fabric will kind of tell you what it can be. And they don't have to be boring. They can be fun. They can be lame. Like it's, whatever fabric speaks to you, it can probably be a boom bag.
It's so weird because these items are essentially all donated. They're going for a greater good, maybe not destined for that specific purpose, but now they're being repurposed into something that's definitely usable for someone else.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, since Boom Bags started in Edmonton, our volunteers who, if any of them are out there watching, we love you. We thank you. We've sewn over 4,000 bags. So there's quite a few floating around Edmonton. We've got some bag trees set up at some local stores. So Earth General Store, Acme Meats, Kalina, Johnson Sewing Center has 2 locations. And yeah, volunteers can sew the bags, drop them off, and then anyone who's there who would otherwise have to take a plastic bag can take one of these boom bags for free and, use as they wish.
Who would have thunk, a simple piece of fabric, a pair of fabric scissors, and a needle and thread, and you have a usable product that I can take to the grocery store. I can carry materials for camping, you name it.
Totally. And
it's right there.
The nice thing about it too is that it's such a low stakes sewing project. So even if you've never sewn before, this is a really, really easy way to get into it because it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work. Sure, they're going to get better the more you do them, but if you've never sewn before, you can sew a boom bag.
All right, 2 questions left. What do you love most about boom bags?
Ooh, it's just fun. I do like the social aspect. It's kind of sad with COVID. We can't all get together and have socials. Normally you'd have a room with, several people just laughing, chatting, sewing bags. So I think that's a great aspect, is that it solves these 2 problems of plastic waste and textile waste, but then there's that community of bringing people together to just share ideas and talk about sustainability. So that's one cool thing about it.
Awesome. And I know we can find you at our amazing Edmonton Impact Center, hunting through our bins, looking for different pieces of fabric. But where else can we find you?
So yeah, the bag trees, those are Earth General, Acme Meats, Kalina to Go, Johnson Sewing Center. And yeah, if anyone is interested in sewing a bag or hosting a bag tree, they can get a hold of Sue through the Boom Bags Facebook page. And yeah, she'll be happy to provide you some details on that.
Oh, one last question. Since everything's free, how do you self-sustain this business?
Well, it is all volunteer driven. So the one thing that Sue might ask for is just some compensation for the labels, because that is the one expense. But otherwise, yeah, it's just volunteer driven out of the goodness of your heart. If you want to sew a bag, we appreciate it.
Awesome. And you know what? You guys are doing such great things, not only locally in our community with a lot of the volunteers, but you're also keeping things out of the landfill. You're, repurposing items for recycled and repurposed community use. I mean, you guys do a phenomenal job.
Yay. Yeah, we love what we do. It's great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, and last but not least, located out of the amazing Edmonton Goodwill Impact Center, the commercial services team is comprised of individuals with disabilities who take discarded items and make them new again. The team makes cleaning cloths out of discarded t-shirts and towels. They work with Suncor on a nuts and bolts program. They create outstanding upcycled furniture, among many, many other initiatives. Johnson, the leader of Goodwill at Work, is here to talk about the amazing opportunity this team has created at Goodwill.
I'm Johnson, and I'm the manager of Goodwill at Work and Commercial Services. Goodwill at Work includes many of our Goodwill's community partnerships and micro-social enterprises that focus on creating opportunity for people with disabilities, training, and sustainability. Housed out of the amazing Impact Center is our Commercial Services division. Commercial Services demonstrates our dedication to these focus areas. We help organizations throughout Western Canada complete projects in the fields of assembly, manufacturing, and packaging. This team is made up of team members with a disability, and their goal is to recycle many items, including t-shirts, towels, teacups, wax, and glassware. These items are then transformed into our renowned cleaning cloths, our innovative teacup candles, and decorative centerpieces, which will then be sold in our retail stores. This keeps items out of the landfill and provides employment opportunities for those with a disability. Many of the team members here have struggled to find and succeed at work outside of Goodwill, but the stability and environment here has meant that they've thrived. Our flagship product, the cleaning cloths, are made from towels and t-shirts that haven't been able to find a second home through Goodwill's retail stores. These items are transformed by the fantastic commercial services team into a new product that can be used in a variety of ways. Thanks to this program, every year Goodwill diverts over 14,000 kilograms of towels and t-shirts from local landfills. Along with the original product, Goodwill has also introduced Cleaning Cloths Hotel Collection in conjunction with the Alberta Hotel and Lodging Association. Donations are received from partner hotels throughout the province, with white towels being transformed and giving it a new life. This premium product lasts longer and creates hundreds of employment hours. We believe in putting people in positions to succeed and give work to people where they are the strongest. When we have a new project to assemble, I know I can count on the knowledge of every individual within the department, so we know exactly what the customer wants and the supplies we need. Our products are in dozens of stores, and we've won over customers that had never heard of Goodwill before. Our sustainability footprint continues to grow with our partnership with ATB Financial and the Repair for Good program. This program is where we have the ability to repair and upcycle unusable furniture and reselling that item at an affordable price for our customers. Our community of partners and customers have given us tremendous support in donating supplies, referring volunteers, and buying the beautiful pieces we've upcycled. Every day, I get to speak with team members throughout the organization who tell me their ideas to grow the company and support more people. It gets me excited to see so many team members sharing the same core purpose, mission, and values. I am proud to work for Goodwill, an organization that truly lives its mission and does so much for the community.
Thank you, Doug. I think that video did a lot of my job for me. But what I do at Goodwill is I get to think about how to expand our mission of employing people with disabilities while improving our record of sustainability while growing our business. So business is growing rapidly at Commercial Services and at Goodwill at Work because we get to walk through the warehouse, all of our stores, and think about what we can come up with next, where we can extract more value. And it is amazing to listen to all the speakers before me and have the gears in my head turning and think, oh, I can definitely chat with Corey about, this specific thing. I can invite Laura, proud Goodwillian, to our furniture repair workshop and see, maybe she can be our lead in Calgary for the furniture program one day. But I love working with the team members here, the individuals with disabilities that we support, and see their growth in what they do, from putting together the cleaning cloths, from being able to express themselves with the teacup candles that they put together. They get to choose the teacup that they get to work with, the color of the wax, and even how to scent it. So we got a cherry one right here. Along with
and just to jump in, but those teacups, they otherwise can't be they go directly to the landfill. They can't be directly recycled because of the wax. That can't be recycled. The teacup is made of China, can't be recycled. So it's a very innovative way to find repurpose for this item.
Yeah, I think one of my philosophies in how I think about growing Goodwill at Work is to really stretch out that value chain and be able to get as much as we can out of the donations from our donors, because that's, we are honoring the donation, we are honoring the product in the Marie Kondo way.
Excellent. Well, Johnson, thank you very much for joining us. The video took a little bit of your luster. I apologize for that, but honestly, is there anything else that you'd like to add by any chance?
No, I would love to invite really anyone who is attending here today to visit our South Park as well as our Westview location, where we've just we started selling some of the furniture that we repair. So some really amazing pieces.
That's great. All right, so we are going to wrap things up here at the Goodwill Sustainability Show. Johnson, Laura, Nicole, Lee, Jonathan, Corey, we appreciate you all for joining. Did I say Nicole? I'm sure I did. I said Nicole. We appreciate you all for joining us and sharing your expertise, sharing how you've been able to divert waste, repurpose item, give an item new joy. I did promise a gift card for the attendees that are left. The question is, I said earlier, the diversion rate from Goodwill, get your fingers ready because I want the first answer. What is the current diversion rate from Goodwill in Edmonton and Grand Prairie? If you could put that in the chat, I'll take the first one. And it looks like Deshad and voila, 90%. Yes, you have it. We will get your information, Shannon. If you could get Deshad's information, we will send her a gift card to Boston Pizza. Congratulations. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate everyone here joining us this evening. Just to wrap things up, this does conclude our virtual sustainability show presented by Goodwill. We had some laughs, we gained some knowledge, I stumbled through some lines, but honestly, we gained some cool information about what people kind of brought to the table and how they were able to redevelop and give an item a new life. I really, really thought it was pretty cool with the plastic benches. That was neat. The old books with Lee, the bags with Nicole, you name it. Laura with the upcycling, Corey with the walls. Oh my goodness. Like it makes your brain churn a little bit, just like Johnson said. So we really appreciate you all joining us. Thank you so much, because you know what? At the end of the day, together we are making a difference in the lives of every single Albertan. Thank you and have a good evening.